Now, more than half the Afghan population face starvation. That's the latest bleak outlook from the United Nations, which says 9 million people are at risk of famine this winter. Afghanistan was reliant on foreign aid for years, but when the Taliban took over the country in August, that foreign aid was cut off, and it's now having a direct impact on the population. Well, joining us for more, Fahim Sadat is the former head of international relations at Cardan University. Thank you very much for being with us. So first of all, I mean, is this being overblown? Just how grave is the situation for Afghan civilians right now?
Well, we are in the beginning of a humanitarian catastrophe at the moment in Afghanistan. There is more than 24 million people in a state of hunger. There is more than 3 million children who are malnourished. And poverty at the moment is at 97% almost. Plus, the winter is looming, and there is snow falling in Kabul and in some other parts of the country, which has really made the situation, particularly the weather and the winter facilities, very, very difficult for the people. In a time when there is hardly any employment, any daily labor, or any services that could be delivered by the government. So the catastrophe is always almost there. People are done with their savings. People are done borrowing. People are almost now selling one child in order to feed the rest of the children. And this really shows the extent of the humanitarian situation that is right now across the country.
Simply unthinkable levels of poverty in Afghanistan. And last month, Fahim, Pakistan hosted a big conference, dozens of delegations from Islamic countries, and they all pledged to help get the aid flowing back to Afghanistan. Did anything come of that?
Well, there has been a flow of humanitarian aid on and off to the country, but the catastrophe, the size of the humanitarian catastrophe is so huge. And I think with on and off funding and humanitarian aid, it is very difficult to solve the problem. The government that is now ruling Afghanistan is not recognized by any country. And there is no proper or transparent modality where other organizations and states who are willing to help to work in Afghanistan, because they don't recognize the government. And also the Taliban's capacity to overcome this problem is also slim, almost zero. So Pakistan, as one of the countries who is supporting the government of the Taliban in Afghanistan, is doing their part, but that is nowhere enough to solve even one province's problem. I think we have 38 million people in Afghanistan, where the majority is now going down the poverty line. And it is beyond one country, two country, or three countries' capacity, particularly the third world countries, to solve the problem, unless the international community, the United Nations, and particularly the United States of America as a big economy, extend support, which means the humanitarian assistance has to come in billion in order to have an effect on the ground.
Well, world powers, they say that the argument against freeing up the aid as it was before is that the money will just go straight to the hands of the Taliban and not to the Afghan people. What do you say to that?
I think even if the money goes to the Taliban, I doubt the capacity of the Taliban for reaching out to 38 million people. And if this money is spent directly by the organizations or states who want to involve themselves, It is again a difficult situation because they still need the cooperation and coordination of the authorities on the ground. Right now, the assets of the Taliban or the Afghan people's assets in outside world are frozen. The Taliban are sanctioned, and the US is not showing any green signal of that problem to be solved anytime soon in terms of recognition and legitimacy. So it's a quite matter.
Fine, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very